And welcome again to the big match. Today we go to the top of the second division for Charlton Athletics match against Sunderland. And from that game we draw our studio guest today, the Charlton manager Andy Nelson. And we back that game up with the outstanding match of the day. Derby County against West Ham, the clash of the top two in the first division that really lived up to its rating. Also another fine game as Ipswich Town face another side with championship hopes, Queen's Park Rangers. We bring you all of that. But first we move across to the Valley in South London, the home of Charlton Athletic, and even on this grey, miserable and wet afternoon, a good crowd that reflects both the appearance of Sunderland and the recent good form shown by Charlton. But Charlton know it's a real test of their quality today when they face the second division leaders so close to promotion the last couple of years. So there's the setting for what promises to be a good game. And first let's catch up on the two teams. Charlton Athletic unchanged. The only detail for manager Andy Nelson to fill is the substitute spot, and that goes to Bob Curtis. As for Sunderland, who come here having lost only 2 of their last 10 games, they too are unchanged, with 19-year-old Mick Henderson keeping his place at number 3. 1 or 2 reunions out there today, especially so for the Charlton skipper David Young, because David here was substitute for Sunderland in that 1973 FA Cup final. The man, though, who could cause the most problems is striker Hales, 7 goals in the last 5 games. But back to reunion, here's Pop Robson. I'm sure all West Ham fans will remember him. And there's Vic Hallam, who had a short time indeed at the Valley. The referee, Jack Taylor. Everybody knows, of course, the World Cup final referee. The crowd taking every good vantage point they possibly can, almost filling, or half filling at any rate, this massive Charlton Athletic Stadium, 22,000 strong.
So Sunderland kick off in white shirts and black shorts, attacking the goal to our left against Charlton in their familiar red with white shorts. A second division game that's grown in importance over the last few weeks, with Sunderland maintaining top position and Charlton unbeaten in their last 5 games, having swept up to 9th place. They're now beginning to draw back to the Valley some of the crowds that are reminiscent of the good old days. Well, he's stealing far too many yards, Peter Hunt, with that throw, trying to find Derek Hales. Here's Colin Powell for Charlton, stopped by Bobby Moncur. Jim Giles, the man they bought from Exeter. And Moncur quite happy to let that go through for the first touch for Jim Montgomery. Well, a bad kick out by Montgomery. Another throw to Charlton Athletic. Peter Hunt with it. Derek Hales. Challenged by Moncur. The ball allowed to go through there to Towers, and here's Kerr. The long ball there, trying to find Billy Hughes. Giles covering up well for Charlton. And the throw going to Sunderland. Bobby Kerr, who skippered Sunderland, of course, in that 1973 Cup final. 2 Charlton men going for it, getting each other's way. Warman and Young, and another throw to Sunderland. Again, Bobby Kerr with it. Hallam used to be here at Charlton, of course. Stopped by Giles. Punted forward to Hales. Hunt. Peacock. Flanagan. Oh, Malone slipped badly there. Still with Flanagan. Oh, and Montgomery had to take the safe way out, with both Hales and Powell onto him. So it's a corner again then to Charlton Athletic. Powell and Peacock between them deciding who will take it. Robson back to help out. Powell floating it towards the near post, and the ball moving a fair bit in the air, causing Henderson to put it behind. Young Mick Henderson, only 19, playing his 3rd game for Sunderland. Powell floating it in again, and a backward header. It might come through to Hales yet. Bowman almost got in there too. Giles might get in there as well. Kicked off the line by Hallam. Well, Charlton so near to going into the lead with 4 minutes gone. A tremendous scramble there as it came out to Giles and was kicked off the line by Vic Howell. Billy Hughes. An unfair challenge by Mark Penfold. And I think Hughes is in a bit of trouble. Now that is a face that says there's pain and trouble. The challenge by Mark Penfold didn't look too severe, but clearly it's put Billy Hughes in a lot of trouble. And indeed the stretcher now coming on. Well, that's a tragic blow for Sunderland, and nobody will be more worried than Bob Stoker on the right, the Sunderland manager. Well, I suppose the only hopeful sign is that they haven't strapped the legs together to give support, and also that the Sunderland substitute, Mel Holden, is still not stripping off. They're probably going to wait just to see how serious it is. Hales underneath this one, and so too was Jeff Clark, the number 5 for Sunderland. Charlton throw. Billy Hughes on his feet again, which is a good sign. It looks as though Arthur Cox wants him back on again. Oh, maybe not. No, he's signalling to the bench, in fact, that Hughes won't go on and that Mel Holden will come on, but Charlton are attacking while that's happening. And here's Jeff Clark belting the ball away. And clearly Billy Hughes will play no further part in this game. Robson, Henderson, Porterfield, Hallam being challenged and beaten by Young. Hunt to Hales. Good turn there by Hales on Clark. Brought down just outside the box and a free kick. Another couple of yards on, and that would have been a penalty. Billy Hughes being wrapped up there in blankets. Won't play again this afternoon. Sunderland wall there, 4 in it to go back the full 10 yards. Mel Holden will be coming on in a moment. Peacock, Flanagan blasting it wide, well wide. Well, that's a formality that number 8's coming off, of course. Waved there by Bob Stoker, the Sunderland manager. And Mel Holden, the man they got from Preston, will replace Billy Hughes. And Robson, nice touch to Henderson. Sunderland facing a fairly hefty breeze, Holden the substitute. And Charlton's throw. At the moment Sunderland unable to put anything together. Won't be helped, of course, by the loss now of Billy Hughes. Porterfield with the throw. Robson. Allen trying to get there first. Now Penfold. Powell. Well, rather wild and rather rash from behind by young Henderson. And a free kick again to Charlton. And here's Peacock again with the free kick. Seems to be taking all these free kicks for Charlton, wherever they are. And here he is again. He's been here almost as long as Jim Montgomery's been at Roker Park. And here's Warman as Charlton take it up well towards Hales, and he almost got in there. And finally behind. A lovely break down the left again by Charlton. Now finding a bit of space in behind that right-hand side of the Sunderland back four. And that time Warman was right in behind them. Crossed it in and Hales couldn't quite manage to turn it home. Robson's header. Hallam. Robson again. Well done, a nice touch there for Hallam. That'll be Richie Bowman's. Played towards Hales. Now Robson. Towers to Robson. Nice touch there again by Robson, this time for Holden in a bit of space. Lining up his shot and catching Peacock on the heels. Flanagan away. after it. And might still get it. Now this could be the one for Charlton. Hit straight at Montgomery. Oh! And he cannoned over the Sunderland player as he tried to get the rebound over Bobby Moncur. The first shot saved by Montgomery. And as he grabbed it, a leap by Hales over Moncur. There, sitting in the front row of the director's box, the Charlton chairman, Mr. Glixton, and on the right of him, the old Charlton manager and trainer, Jimmy Trotter, who's not been to this ground now for 13 years. Now Malone. Giles getting that one away. Tars played back from Malone. Bit high again towards Vic Hallam, and he got the header in there. Robson might be in. Yes! Holden the scorer. Well, the bad news for Charlton began when Hallam won that ball in the air. When Robson typically was fast onto it. He flicked it through. It hadn't crossed the line, though, when Holden came in to make absolutely sure. So the credit must go to Mel Holden. 1 goal to nil, Sunderland lead. Side that's got a 100% record at home, Sunderland, but they haven't been all that impressive away from home. Played for Peacock. Trying to trick a yard of space. Against Moncur, eventually finds Powell. This could be interesting, no. In the end, it came to nothing. It was Porterfield who got it away. And away goes Sunderland through Vic Hallam. Leaving it for Tars. Good ball there by Tars. What a good ball there for Porterfield. Holden in the middle. Played nicely for him, and Holden completely missed it. Oh, and Kerr almost got it. And Tuck finally grabbed it right at the last. All beginning with a superb ball, though, from Tony Tars. Porterfield playing it on. Holden missing what looked to be a relatively simple chance. And then Tuck grabbing it just before it got to Kerr. As the whistle goes for half-time, and Charlton having had something like 80% of that first half go in a goal down. The goal finally put across the line. Got by Bobby Moncur, who's obviously going off to get a bit of treatment. But the ball finally put across the line by Mel Holden. Brian Robson, Ian Porterfield and Tony Townsend had a big say in the build-up. But Sunderland really very fortunate to go into the lead and go in at half-time winning 1-0. Charlton having had so much more of the play. A lot more to come on the big match this afternoon, and a half-time score in a nicely filled Valley this afternoon, which says Charlton 0, Sunderland 1. We'll be right back with you.
Thirty-second roll to TX. Fifteen-second roll to TX.
So, welcome back to the Valley as Charlton get us away. Now attacking the goal to our left and starting off very well indeed with Derek Hales. No penalty. Very interesting break though there by Hales down the left. And now Sunderland through Holden. Here's Bobby Kerr. Bit there towards Porterfield, who came up quickly and thinking... Pretty sure he thought that there was somebody behind him. So Charlton's throw. Richie Bowman with it. Tars. A delicate chip there by Towers for Kerr. Robson played nicely there for Kerr. Time to size this one up, and Hallam was right in there. Very nearly made it number 2. And a real question mark there against the Charlton defence. Nice 1-2 there, play between Robson and Kerr. And Hallam first to it, but put it wide. One of the qualities, I think, of Charlton's play over the last year or two under manager Andy Nelson is even when they're playing badly, they do keep putting their heads down and coming forward, trying to force errors out of opponents. That's what they've got to do this afternoon now, even though they're not playing particularly well. But it's Towers at the moment for Sunderland. Henderson making a good break for them down the left. Robson didn't quite get the touch there. And here goes Powell now for Charlton. Not offside, he's all right. So Flanagan now with a chance for Charlton Athletic. And yes, it's there by Hales. Well, that break came out of nothing. And suddenly Flanagan was clear all the way, just onside. The linesman kept his flag down. And when he got and faced Montgomery, it looked as though he'd lost his chance. But in fact, he put it into the path of Hales, who was able to slide it in to make it 1-1. And for Hales now to score 8 goals in his last 6 games. So now we've got quite a game. And an equaliser that Charlton thoroughly deserved. Young, Warman, Hales. And here goes Flanagan, a minor mistake there by Malone. And the ball going off Clark for a Charlton corner. So another corner then, and here's Peacock with it. Again, that curler. Oh, and he tried an overhead kick. And Giles might get that in. No, and he blasted it over. Giles getting well with the header there. Alone. Porterfield. Hit towards Hales. What a nice header by Hales to Richie Bowman. Warman following it up. Cut out by Henderson for Sunderland. Asking Holden to chase that one, but Jim Giles will get there first. Well, he might have to give away a corner. No. Yes, a corner. So Bobby Kerr will take the corner again for Sunderland. Holden and Robson in that 6-yard area. And Holden! Well, that was a mistake in the Charlton defence. Just look at the smiling Sunderland faces there. As that corner from Bobby Kerr came curling in once more. Holden, the substitute, was there first. A glancing header from a sharp angle, and Sunderland are back in the lead. Charlton 1, Sunderland 2. Scorer of his second goal, Mel Holden. Now Malone. Kerr. Towers. Oh, he hit it well, and the deflection took it over the crossbar. Deflection, in fact, from Giles. What a lovely piece of play though by Tony Towers. And after it, he got a good powerful shot in, and that deflection just enabling the ball to clear the crossbar. Kerr. Well, Malone, as Flanagan lost that one. Another deep cross again. I think it's Flanagan on the far, or rather Hallam on the far side. Oxen, Poland, Kerr. Played into space there for Robson, and he very nearly brought up an excellent goal there for Sunderland. Well thought out. And although they're leading 2-1, really it's almost the first time in the game that Sunderland have really looked and played with any great authority. Nice little touch there by Kerr for Robson. Peacock. Flanagan. Peacock. All beaten though by Kerr with Hallam outside him. And here's Robson up as well. Holden, the man on a hat-trick. And stopped by Graham Tutt. About 10 minutes to go. Free kick. So Charlton's free kick towards Hales, headed in now! Oh, and somehow it was belted off the line again. Cracked it again by Warman. Young dinking it up once more. And this time Montgomery just gets it. That really was a fiercely exciting moment there. And it looked as though Charlton had twice got very close to an equaliser. Bowman. Hales. Well, now can they make something of this? Oh, this is a good piece of running there by Colin Powell and brought down, what, 10 yards outside the area. Lovely touch by Hales that sent Powell on his way. So Peacock and Bowman. Peacock's free kick, but straight into the arms of Montgomery. Warman. Powell supported by Penfold. That's a good piece of play there by Powell, finding Peacock. Little near post ball there, and it very nearly went. I think for Richie Bowman who came in fast, or was it Powell? No, it's Richie Bowman. A second half after being almost outplayed in the first half, Sunderland. In Tony Towers, they've had the best player on the field, but there's a throw, and it might not be all over yet. Oh, and there's a bit of a bust up on the far side there as the Sunderland players there go after Hales, and there's trouble there as the referee gets in between them. There was clearly an incident off the ball there. The Sunderland players got up now. I think it it was Tony Towers. No, it was Henderson who was the Sunderland player involved. And Hales, the name goes into the book.
And I believe he's been sent off. Yes, Hales has been sent off by referee Jack Taylor. It can only be for kicking.
And so the game goes on, with Jim Montgomery in possession. Come for Porterfield. For him to take the throw. Hales. Laid here for Malone. Now Peacock. Well, that was a silly ball for Malone to give away. And if Charlton have got time to spring an attack, they might yet find something. Warman playing it through to Bowman. And the whistle has gone. And it's 2 points for Sunderland, who keep their place at the top of the second division. And a disappointment for Charlton in front of this big crowd. Number 6, David Young, will be more disappointed than most as a former Sunderland player. Phil Holden, the number 12, the substitute for Sunderland, scoring both their goals. With Derek Hales having got the equaliser for Charlton early in the second half. So we have a full-time score here at the Valley. Charlton 1, Sunderland 2.
And Billy Hughes, incidentally, had a suspected cracked ankle bone, but he was able to travel back with the Sunderland team. But the incident, of course, that most people were talking about at the end was the sending off of Derek Hales. And manager Andy Nelson has been very honest and forthright about it. Let's deal with it first of all, Andy. I think you're quoted as saying that Derek deserved it. If you kick somebody, you have to go.
Well, this is true, Brian. You know, you have to have the right set of standards on a football field. You have to back the referee entirely. And clearly you can't go about kicking players.
So what was your attitude with Derek when you realised that this had happened?
Well, I didn't know after the game that he got sent off for kicking a player, because the ball was quite a long way away from the incident, and I missed it like I think quite a lot of people. I asked Derek, immediately I got into the dressing room, and he said that he kicked a player. You know, he gets what he deserves.
Well, let's give you the chance to see it then. And it happened, as we know, in the very last minute of the game, on the far side of the field. And as this throw-in is taken, a good long throw there, Derek Hales, in fact, jumps here on the back of Henderson. Now forget the ball, just watch those two players who are now falling to the ground, and you'll see how Derek Hales, as he goes round to the back there, kicks Henderson, not once but probably twice there. And the referee superbly placed, Jack Taylor, to go and do what he has to do. What's your reaction now you've seen it, Andy?
Well, you know, this is the first time that I've seen it, Brian. It's completely clear. The referee's in an excellent position. Derek kicked the lad without any shadow of doubt. The only thing we can say is that the referee was 100% right, and we ought to say at this particular time that the manner in which he sent Derek Hales off was excellent.
Tell me that. What do you mean by
that
exactly?
There was no antics whatsoever. He knew clearly what he was going to do. He took him away close to the tunnel, told him he was on his way, without wagging a finger and pointing his hand and everything else, and the boy was in the bath.
Now, as a manager, do you discipline Derek Hales when you go to the ground tomorrow?
Well, no, we don't, not for these sort of things. We discipline players for dissent. You can't go on forever. Derek Hales is disciplined himself by the simple fact that he will miss a game, the next game. He's got a very good chance now of missing 2 because he'll reach 20 points with another caution. So clearly he's going to have a very good chance of missing 3 games anyway. Professional players get paid their bonuses and appearance money, and probably comes to half of their salary. So Derek Hales really has disciplined himself, and I think basically I feel sorry for the lad to some extent, because he's been a model professional during my time at Charlton. Yesterday he cracked, and you know, I think if anybody regrets it, it's Derek Hales.
Let's look at the happier side of Derek Hales, because he's been scoring some goals for you, and the one he got yesterday, in fact, was a very good example of how quickly he's on the spot and how brave he is going in with his finishing. Tell us about this one, Andy.
Well, Colin Powell was given the ball very early and did the right thing. He's committed a player immediately, goes straight at the second one, And the Sunderland players tried to come up for offside, and they were a little bit ragged at this stage.
Yes, they weren't offside.
They weren't offside. Mickey Flanagan went on, and here Mickey Flanagan does really excellent. It would have been so easily to have blasted it and hit the keeper, or knocked it wide of the post, or hit the post. But instead of this, he lays it clearly in the path of Dirk Hales for an open goal.
That's what you'd like to see him doing a bit more of, and not so much of the business of getting sent
Sure.
off.
Sure.
One of the reasons you gave for him being sent off, or at least for lashing out like that he was frustrated and sick at the way you've been giving goals away at the other end of the team.
Yeah, well, it's not Dirk's words, it's mine. I know the lad well enough to know this would be true. Dirk's the winner, he likes to win. There's a lot of people in football that like to win. But Dirk is prepared to do something about getting a result himself. He's very, very brave in situations, in the opponent's spot. He's very quick, he's prepared to work very hard. And he's improved so much over the 18 months I've been at Charlton. There are no limits to where the boy can go now.
What about the joke goals, as you described,
Yeah.
that you gave away, though?
Yeah.
The second one in particular, Andy, if we can just show you that one, with the near-post header.
Yeah.
And the curious thing is that you'd played so many near-post balls yourself.
Yeah.
There's Keith Peacock, for example, putting in a near-post corner.
Yes.
And it very nearly catches Sunderland out here with the backward header at the near post.
Yeah.
And Derek Hales can't quite get up to it. Now tell us, how is it you get caught out with exactly the same sort of thing? One would have thought you'd have known all about these things in defence.
Well, we do. This is something that not only Charlton, I'm sure every club in the country discuss, every single week. The fact that you've got to put yourself in positions where you know the ball is going to be played. There are only so many ways that you can score a goal, and certainly if it's a corner, or I think that one was a free kick in actual fact, the first person you must do something about is the lad at the near post. And clearly the only way you can defend against him is by having somebody with a bit of size picking him up, bit of height, and somebody in front. And in this situation, it's something we never do, but for some unknown reason, we had a player in front and nobody on the centre forward.
Now, just where do you stand with Charlton now? You're giving away silly goals, and yet you're in a fairly healthy position in the league.
Yes.
Is that a false position, do you think?
I don't think so. We have a number of players in our side with a high degree of skill. With a tremendous playing staff in terms of effort and enthusiasm. They're out of this world, really. But we do tend to do these silly things, and it's something that we've got to put our finger on. It's something that we've talked about over a hell of a long period now, but you can only discuss before the game and during the week exactly what will happen when you get out there, but when they go out the door, somebody has to sort it out for themselves.
Andy, thank you very much indeed for coming today and talking so frankly about the defeat against Sunderland yesterday. Thank you, Andy Nelson. Well, for our second game, we pick up the championship chase of Queen's Park Rangers. Not really been a very good week for Rangers. We saw how they were held at home to a goalless draw last week by Spurs. And of course, in midweek, they were dumped out of the Football League Cup by Newcastle United. And now here they were, off to East Anglia to take on Ipswich without the injured Stan Bowles. So it really was a test for them. Captured by Anglia's cameras, commentator Jerry Harrison, QPR are in the red and white half shirts.
Well, that seemed to be Leach getting in the way of Beattie, but there was no blow. Beattie couldn't get that, nor could Leach. And now here's Hunter. Mills. And McClintock in trouble. Wymark. And the whistle has gone. Well, Frank McClintock, the man marking Wymark at the moment, has looked a little bit vulnerable. Mills over the head. Oh, a great effort. What tremendous quick thinking by Mick Mills. The goalkeeper had come out a couple of paces. He's a very tall man, 6'3", but that beat him. Johnson with Webb. Now Wymark. He's behind McClintock. Oh, the fine effort. And that was the heading ability of Johnson and the superior pace of Trevor Wymark. Masson gets it, but Mills doesn't realise where it is. Now he does. Johnson, Woods out here. No panic there from Johnson. Mills has gone on the left. This is Johnson again. Through the legs of Francis. Beattie. Pushing it around fast. Mills. Ball. The flag is up. That's in the area. If that's handball, that is in the area. I'll put my wages on it, which is about £3.10, but it's still, I think, inside the area, but he's given it out. if it was handball. Don Masson doesn't think so. Anyhow, here's Mills with a kick. That's the way to knock him in. And that's what you call coming up in support. Jump penalty as Mills took the kick. It was still making his way up. It was headed out, but penalties coming in at a rate of knots. Bang! And Parks, with all those players in front of him, never had a chance. Weimark can't get it. And Osborne going forward hard. They're much the more aggressive side, and it's bringing results. And Woods doesn't know where it is. Against McClintock. And there's a free kick being given after these argy-barges, with Mills getting involved with the England captain, and really this isn't what we want. And we're going to have a player booked here. And Francis in apoplexy about this one, but it's no good. He's 23, is the captain of the side, is the captain of England, but he can't do anything about McClintock being booked. And Mills was involved in that one somewhere, but quickly got out of the action very fast. Clement to Francis. Woods a little bit late on that challenge. Francis, a bad ball from Clement. Francis had turned his back now, Weimark going at his man. Woods, Burley on the right, butts away from Francis. Can't get by Webb though. Mills, good play to Beattie. Mills again, working well for each other, trying to drag Rangers out of position. Woods, bit of space, Burley out here with even more. Well, sympathy for him, particularly as he's now got to get back as Thomas runs at Weimark. And still Burley isn't all the way back, but it's Weimark in the right back position. Masson, Beattie is there with Leach. Masson's still there. Givens out on the right. Oh, now Givens is in an excellent position. It's a great effort. That's a first-class goal from Don Givens. Well, as the ball was pushed over from the left, Masson had time, apart from a couple of nudges, to get it out to Givens, waiting out there, wide on the right, jinking inside a player, and then with the left foot, wide of Cooper, for an excellent goal.
Yes, a very good goal there by Don Givens, giving QPR a point in a 1-1 draw. And indeed, so much good action from important games on the programme today. There's just time for one letter, and it comes from Master Giles Pratt of Queen's Road in Barnet, who noticed a remarkable performance by Ajax of Holland, a club that's been slipping a bit in the last couple of years or so. And yet a couple of weeks back, they thrashed Feyenoord of Rotterdam by 6-0. It's rather like Arsenal, who've had rather a sore time of it in the last couple of years, coming up and doing the same sort of thing, I suppose, today to Derby County. It's that sort of stature. Well, it was in front of a 61,000 crowd in Amsterdam. Ajax are in the light strip, and really what made it the more remarkable was that 5 of the 6 goals came from one man. We've already seen on the programme the goal-scoring work today of the Charlton Athletic striker Derek Hales. Well, this is the Ajax Hales, spelt G-E-E-L-S, and here's how the Dutch commentators saw it.
Op rechts komt Steffenhagen in. Motte neemt. Verste paal Hales. Hales! Hales! Rokamp kopte Steffenhagen. Ja, hij zit erin! Steffenhagen! Terwijl hij niet buitenspel. Dan Motte die bal moeten voorbrengen. Daar staat op links Gerrit Muren vrij, niet buitenspel. Hij heeft moeite om hem onder controle te krijgen, maar het lukt. Muren. Geels, ja, schitterende kopstoot. Ruud Geels. Paas van Zuurbier. Rijsberg op fout, gaat Geels zelf scoren? Ja! De hat-trick van Ruud Hales. Hales. Wacht misschien op Notten. Hier is hij. En dan komt Hales er weer achter vandaan. Gaat misschien zijn 4e goal maken. Hales, nee, Treitel. Hij zit erin. Hij zit erin, toch. Muren. Hales. Ja. 6-0. Op de valreep. Ruud Hales. Zijn 5e treffer.
So that's Ruud Hales, one of the most astonishing individual goal-scoring performances for years. Before we go on, a quick mention of an under-23 match being played in London this week. England under-23 is against Portugal under-23. It's at Selhurst Park on Tuesday night at 7:30. Our third match today was the cliffhanger between the top two in Division 1. Derby County, who were second on goal average yesterday, against leaders West Ham. And a wonderful match in prospect, and so it turned out to be, with at least one goal in itself worth the price of admission. See it for yourself as the pictures come from ATV. Commentator Hugh Johns, Derby County, of course, in white.
It's Rioch, chased by Coleman. It's away from him. Hector McFarlane! What a save! And immediately West Ham strike back. But they're on again. Todd. George. Lee. Far post is McFarlane. It was Lampard on the near post who stopped it. Oh, wonderful bit of football driving in from Derby earlier. Gave the shot to McFarlane, a superb save from Day. Taylor then for Coleman. Coleman not wearing shin pads. Alan Taylor. Good pass to Rioch. He enjoyed that. Lee and Rioch. Yes! Oh, that took such a long time. And Bruce Rioch stands and takes his applause as he breaks that long, long sequence. And there was a beautifully contrived move. The return pass, Rioch taking it, and looked as though he was trying to run away from him. He's so Mervyn Day, and the ball just rolls into the net. Tommy Taylor. Aiming for Alan Taylor. And a break on again for Derby. Lee. George. That's a fine ball. Archie Gemmell. Good football by Derby. Hard and low. Taylor stopped it. Now it's Alan Taylor for West Ham. Brooking. McDowell. Lampard. Gould calling for it. That's Brooking in. That was a nicely worked move. Reminiscent of many fine West Ham goals of the past. The ball chipped on the near post. Brooking made contact and was just wide of his target. George didn't get the touch he wanted. Lock up in the air. George on. Good challenge then by Lampard. Now Robson. Lampard. Lock. Taylor. Coleman. McDowell. That's not a bad ball for Alan Taylor. Rod Thomas away. Just as well too, because Bobby Gould was right behind him. It was a nice little break by West Ham and a good cross ball, hard and low from Alan Taylor. McDowell. Coleman. One back by Derby. Nish out. It's Tommy Taylor. Nish again. Taylor down. And it's for George now. Rioch. Rioch driving in to let it go again. Rioch has got the taste for goals now. the one he got earlier. West Ham cutting back. Alan Taylor for Robson. Good job, McFarlane cut that one out. Todd. Gemmell. Charlie George for Gemmell. Lee, the one man he can play with up there, but he's going to try one. Archie Gemmell scored his last goal here in the last home game against Leeds. McDowell, Holland. Rookie. Good call from Holland. Newton made the tackle. At Holland to pick up Rookie. Oh, what a nice bit of work. What a good goal! What a good goal! That wasn't even an opportunity of saying what a good shot. That was a goal from the time it left Brooking's feet. 42 minutes and it's 1-1, and I don't think you'll see many goals better than that one. Certainly not without cameras right smack behind it. The throw in from Holland picking up Brooking. There was a little dummy, made the space for himself and shot immediately, and it was a belter that Bolton had no chance with. It's Taylor gliding it on. Robson, little chip. Good, quick and intelligent anticipation by Bolton from that shot from Robson. West Ham putting it together now. Charlie George. And the singing of Forever Blowing Bubbles, indicating that West Ham have got good support here this afternoon. George. Gemmell. Oh, and that's Hector trying to get onto it. Still there. Lee. Newton. Well, that was a bit of a wild moment, and a free kick now given against Gemmell for a dangerous play, getting his boot up. Well, that was a remarkable series of let-offs in the West Ham goal mouth. For once, the immaculate Mervyn Day wasn't quite too sure what was going on around him. Todd then. Gemmell. Neat skills by the Scottish international. George. Return ball just too long for Gemmell. Robson. Robson looking appealingly at Bobby Gould here, saying, why didn't you start to run? Nish for, Todd rather, for Lee. Now Hector. Going against Lampard, trying to commit him. Chip for Charlie George to score the second goal for Derby. Oh, that was so neatly done. Beautiful little goal. 19 minutes into the second half and Derby fans erupt, heralding Charlie George's 11th goal of the season. All set up for him by that perfect piece of work by Kevin Hector. Tempting Lampard into tackling him. Saw Charlie George just off in front of the goals. The chip ball, and Charlie George as easy a header at goal as he'll ever score. Lock them for Brooking. Still with Brooking. Gould. No, a superbly timed interception from Dave Nish. Holland. Gould. Brooking. Gemmell snapping around his ankles. Lampard. To try it. It's a good one. That was on target.
Saved by Bolton, he even got up in time to save the corner. Good try by Lampard. Build up across the face of the goal, and Lampard's shot was a belter. It was going inside the left-hand post.
So Derby County go to the top, but not without some cost to England, because Roy McFarland is definitely out of that crucial England match in Portugal on Wednesday. I spoke to Don Reevy just before we came on the air. He gave me a rundown of the injuries. Apart from Roy McFarland, Colin Bell of Manchester City, of course, out at that midweek injury of his. Dennis Tuart of Manchester City was injured yesterday and is having a strong treatment to try and get himself fit. Stan Bowles is out, having treatment. He missed that match for Queen's Park Rangers yesterday, of course, but perhaps the most significant and saddest news from England's point of view is that Colin Todd is injured. He injured a groin yesterday, and I think that must be more serious than people at first thought, because Don Reevy was telling me that Colin Todd may not even travel to London to join the England players today after having treatment at the baseball ground. But Don also said that he's not planning at the moment to call up any replacements. I chose 22 players in the first instance, he said, and I should be able to pick a side from that. Well, that's it. On the ball next Saturday lunchtime, of course, in World of Sport, and the big match next Sunday afternoon at 2. But before that, exclusive coverage of that England-Portugal match from Lisbon on ITV next Wednesday night at 10:30. Make sure you make a date with that one. And if he gets into the side, which now seems very likely, let's hope that Trevor Brooking can carry on where he left off for West Ham at Derby yesterday.
Matt Holland to pick up Brookie. Oh, what a nice bit of work. What a good goal! What a good goal! That wasn't even an opportunity of saying what a good shot. That was a goal from the time it left Brooking's feet.